We're here, episode 99 of the main show.
The last ever episode of EastEnders Weekly.
I know. I was just about to say that dramatically, but you took it away from me.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's fine. Been 99 episodes, and I still haven't been able to do an intro correctly.
Thanks to me. I've ruined everything.
But yes, the last ever EastEnders Weekly you're listening to right now.
Yeah, this is quite a momentous moment.
2
years, almost 2 years ago, we started EastEnders Weekly, and what a mess that was.
With an outrage of Abby dying and Lauren not dying.
Yeah.
Is how this all began.
It is. I was just being so angry at Abby's death. We thought, you know what, we're going to rant about it over over a podcast, and this is what it's become.
Here we are. But lucky for all you out there, this isn't the last time you'll hear us.
Oh yes, this isn't the last ever podcast by Ben and I. Oh no, not by any stretch.
We're moving on to Hollyoaks with Chester Chat. Oh no, sorry. Walford Weekly is what our name is changing to, and the show is staying the same. I'm sad to say to everyone.
Oh, it's sad for you. You'd love it to change to Hollyoaks. You've been mining this idea for months now. You've been planting little seeds into people's heads. Tweeting on our account about Hollyoaks. You've been wanting it for weeks.
No,
Don't
too
pretend.
much commitment. The show isn't changing, just the name is changing.
Yes.
But this is the last episode that will be called EastEnders Weekly.
Because,
so enjoy it.
Well, yes. I hope you do all enjoy it, and I hope you all will carry on listening to us when we become Walford Weekly. And our very first episode of Walford Weekly isn't even a full proper episode.
No.
It's our review of the year.
That's right.
And that's on the 15th of January, this coming Wednesday. So listen out to that and check out your podcast app, and you'll see a brand new logo, brand new theme tune, and perhaps...
Same host.
Yeah, I was going to say, perhaps a brand new host, but no, sadly not.
Maybe.
You're stuck with us.
Anyway, we are discussing the episodes that were broadcast between the 7th and the 10th of January. Because there was no Monday episode this week and a double on a Friday.
Won't be sick about it.
I mean, the whole week seems a bit... It's like January blues, wasn't it? EastEnders itself felt a bit flat after Christmas.
But they
none of the characters knew what to do, where to go, where to live.
They gently pushed down on that break and just slowed things down a little bit.
Nice and casual this week. But, you know, there was a few things going along, and we're getting, like, new storylines, hints this week, so that's good.
Yeah, but they've not forgotten the old storylines, and they've certainly not forgotten Christmas just yet.
Not sure how happy I am about the aftermath of Tishmas, where she's not been really there at all.
It's not really been a Tishmas, was it?
No.
The hashtag was...
I think the fans hyped it up.
Again, I think...
Tish Dean fans do.
I think
A.k.a. me.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think you're to blame on this one.
Been missing action of Sharon, and we had, like, Sharon versus Louise, but it only lasted, like, 10 seconds.
She got a cut.
Like Phil in bed.
Yeah, got a bitch slap. Got shouted at by Kathy. That was the end of it. No more Sharon for another week.
Yeah, so we're going to start off with the Mitchells discussion, and Louise, who's not really coping with... She's kind of realised, me saying yes to Keanu being murdered actually meant Keanu's being killed.
Yeah.
Like, a physical person's being killed.
There's possible consequences to my decision, and now I'm not feeling very good about it.
She thought she was all leading lady for one episode.
Yeah.
But no, there is life after death.
Jadda jadda, and then that was it. She then realised her conscience suddenly kicked in. So it wasn't that she felt the gunshot go off in the warehouse. It was more that her conscience suddenly said, oh, hang on. I've just put a man to death.
She's not a true Mitchell after all, really.
She is the weak link, and Phil and Ben very much know this. They're constantly having little conversations out of the way of Louise, saying of how they can next manipulate her into calming down and solving the problems within the family, because they don't want any external people looking inward.
No therapy, no police,
none of that. Nope. They want to keep it within the family. Ben can sort it.
They want to manipulate Louise by themselves.
Yeah, which is perfectly
Which is basically what they are doing. Like, they are, like, manipulating her.
Big time.
And, like, I don't know how they thought that murdering someone like Louise wouldn't have a second thought about it afterwards. It's really odd.
Well, especially considering really the burden of the responsibility was given to Louise, because at any point Louise could have either run away with Keanu, which she was given an opportunity to do, or she could have just said, no, okay, I am a bit miffed. I'm a bit upset by it all, but having taken a few deep breaths and taken a step back, it's not about just me, Louise. It's not just me. It's about perhaps the greater scheme of things, and just let Keanu go, and we'll forget any of this ever happened. I think they should have always known that Louise was going to be the weaker link in this scenario.
I do think it's a bit of a shame, like, how they've not even shown us Phil's feelings about losing his wife and losing this child.
Phil feels really cold about it.
Yeah, like, his feelings is Keanu's dead, so I'm fine now. And it's like, oh, okay. Like, there could have been a bit more depth there. Like, is he missing his wife? Is he upset about Sharon? Is he upset that he never did have that child? Like, all these things. But he's just sitting there reading the paper, eating fried breakfast.
Yeah.
With Kathy hovering around him. And it's like, oh, they could have shown us a bit more human side.
But then I think this is almost the final nail in Phil's personality gone, isn't it? This seems to be any kind of human emotion Phil
mean as
ever
a character
had.
or writers? Like,
Well, I just mean any human emotion Phil ever had has pretty much just dispersed. This is it. That's the end of Phil ever caring or feeling for anyone, because his one emotion when Peggy was born has kind of also died. He doesn't really give two hoots about Peggy either.
And even Louise, like, what he really cares about is people not finding out.
Yeah, getting away with it.
Yeah, he doesn't actually care about her mental health or anything like that. I mean, there is that thing that I was worried about last week, Kathy. The big elephant in the room.
Well, you put it out there, didn't you? You had to put it out there. You know what
I
it's
didn't think
like.
it would happen straight away.
Well, you put an idea into someone's head and you know that it's somehow going to find its way. You play a game when there's 5 degrees of separation. Somewhere it's got from you to a writer's head. And now Phil and Kathy
under the same roof
are a prospect. Yeah.
I know. If they're a couple and... But it's going to happen because she's wondering. She's like Miss Housewife, isn't she? Because she
is ticking Phil off a little bit.
She basically gave Ian the ultimatum: if Sharon's here and then I go, and she's like, Ian would never check me out.
Yeah, and Ian
and
did.
He was like, go on then.
Yeah, see ya, mum. Which is weird, isn't it? Because last year he was about maybe a year ago.
No,
he was
last year with
crying,
Masood,
with Masood saying, "I've not had my mum yet," and so he begged her not to leave and start having a relationship with Masood. And now he's just like, "Oh, hang on, I've got a chance with Sharon here." Now she's damaged goods.
Yeah, 30 years later.
I'm gonna go and chuck my mum out the house.
It is a bit odd for Kathy, this, isn't it?
Yes, it seems like a complete, which is a term that lots of people have been throwing around on social media. It does feel like a personality transplant by Kathy. It just,
she's really cold.
Really cold and just uncaring about the situation. Normally Kathy is a bit like Bobby is right now, and that can take a step back
Samaritan.
and see it from, an ex-Samaritan. She takes a step back and can see it from both sides. That's not to say Kathy hasn't had her time when she's kind of been very black and white with her idealisms, but this is very much a family matter, and I find it strange that she's taking Ben's side over Ian's
and
side.
And Phil's side. Like, she knows what Phil's like.
Yeah.
And I found it weird, that line when Ian said to her, she's a family, she's been a friend of mine for years. Like, why would he have to say that to Kathy, who's known Sharon since she was a baby? Like, you don't need to say that. It's just stupid.
I do like the when Mother Kathy and Dad Phil were talking like the parents of Ben, when they were talking about Ben's relationship with Callum and how disappointed she is that they've broken up, and Callum was the best thing for Ben, and Phil was a bit like, yeah, well, we'll find someone else. And it felt like a family unit there. So again, kind of
with Louise in the background.
Cradling baby Peggy, just thinking about the death that she's caused. The one thing I think we've got going for it is the fact of Phil and Kathy not getting together, is the fact that Phil, after one day, has had enough of Kathy cleaning up under his feet. She's like, I've got something to clean in the lounge, it's getting much cleaner, and he just slammed the door on her face and just let her get on with it. So perhaps Kathy will eventually get on Phil's nerves enough that he will just chuck her out and say, you know what, we've got enough support in the Mitchell family, you go and support your son now, Ian. He'll be fine.
She's trying to help in a Kathy way, I guess.
Well, I think she's trying to keep herself busy.
Yeah.
I think she's just trying to occupy her mind, because this is a bit of a torment for Kathy. I think it was a harder decision than we saw on screen for her to choose Phil over Ian in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, no.
But yeah,
not a good idea. And obviously Louise is like, her mental state's being noticed by Lisa.
Lisa's
still around.
Lisa really is like the whisperer of medical health, isn't she? Mental health. She just sees it from everyone. She notices it from everyone. She saw
her eyes are wide open.
She saw it in Beck. She saw it in
Mel,
yeah.
Louise, Hunter,
yeah.
Possibly. Lisa's all right. She's sitting in Mel's flat, rent free, paid for apparently.
Yeah. And
everything in her will's been left to her.
Yeah. By proxy, I believe. So I don't think it was necessarily written, but because Mel has, well, I say Mel has no family. She has a brother.
Poor Alex.
Yeah. What about me?
She has an unseen sister as well. Obviously they weren't that close. They didn't pay for her funeral, so she didn't leave them anything in the will.
They did go to the funeral, didn't they? But they were never
only for canapes.
Yeah. No, they went to see the coffin being buried so they can make sure that their sister was dead. But they didn't
went to the will reading. Yeah. Found out they didn't get left anything.
Yeah, then walked off.
Fuming.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's got the villa that Sharon bought for her, so that's a nice little handy find for her. And she's obviously moved to Portugal is the line of the century. She's now wanting Louise to go with her, but doesn't seem that interested.
Well, Louise wants to stay, I think, and face the responsibility. I think
go to prison.
Yeah, but she even said that this week, didn't she? She said, I think we'd be better off just going to the police and admitting it. And Ben quickly shot that idea down and said, no, you won't be doing that, Louise. So, yeah, this guilt-ridden Louise. Did he keep her? Certainly was a good force this week. She did. It was nice to see Louise not being all about Louise, apart from that time when she did then say, like, what was Keanu's last words? Was it me?
Yeah. Did he mention me by any chance? Yeah. That's what I want to know.
When he had a gun to his head and you're about to shoot him, did he say, hello Louise, see you later?
There's just one thing itching, Martin. Did he mention me before he died?
Was it about me? Is it about me, Martin?
Did he shout my name in his last breath? But no, she's obviously just tormented. And poor Martin's trying to get back to normal on his fruit and veg stall.
Yeah, and he's got a pay rise as well.
Yeah.
That's the best way of doing it, isn't it? Leave your job in a fit of anger, have a go at Shrimpy, you get a pay rise and you get your job back.
That's what Jack and Josser thought with Lauren, but it didn't work out that way.
Yeah, not so much.
But she was like nearly shouting it in the market about like, did you kill Keanu? So Martin's trying to reel Ben in and be like, you need to sort this Louise problem. So I don't know what they're going to do to sort her out.
Put her in a container. Oh. Put her in a container.
What, like Hollyoaks?
Yeah. No.
Hollyoaks version of Keanu's in a container.
Taylor in a container. That sounds like a game. I'm rubbing my hands together. I'm going to think of that one up. Yeah, I don't know. I guess they're just going to sit her down.
Abuse her more.
Yeah.
Mentally break her down.
Yeah, I guess.
Like Phil did to Lisa many years ago. Maybe he'll do it to Louise.
Yeah, but that's his daughter. It's such a sick thing to do, isn't it? That they're manipulating Louise into keeping quiet. I think the best thing she could do is to go, obviously, with Lisa. But whether that will happen...
Yeah, that's a bit boring though, isn't it? You can't just go to Portugal. Obviously, we've got the Ben side of the storyline as well, because he's like acting like he's not fazed. They're not bothered.
Well, he has got a lot of responsibility on his shoulders from his mum, from dad, from his sister. He's basically...
From all these men who want vigorous sex all the time.
Yeah, Martin. For different reason. And so I suppose he's feeling a bit worn out and a bit tired from all this vigorous sex. Yeah, of course. Very achy.
Callum. He says he still loves Callum, but he's making the most of his time away, isn't he?
Well, he tossed that wallet away as soon as he found it, didn't he? Wallet wasn't a euphemism.
He's like sleeping around with all these different people.
Man to men.
Pretending he's over Callum. But it's nice that Phil wasn't disgusted about talking about Callum. He was quite
he sees, he sees in Ben the pain that he's going through. But, I mean, again, Phil was manipulating Ben, isn't he, in order to help him get Louise on side. And so Phil is this puppet master, and he's really playing his children, and it's not a nice
he does play
side
the
of him.
Poor old dad card a lot, doesn't he?
Well, I don't think he's playing the poor old dad side. He's just doing we are Mitchells and this is what we do, and
I appreciate
you
what
follow.
You've lost.
Yeah,
but you have lost it, and that's the case.
When he said that to Ben, I thought that was a bit weird and a bit cruel. It's like, I know what you lost to do, and remembering that he lost Paul beforehand, so the pain was still very raw for Ben, as we found out when he was sleeping around the first time before he smelt queer, and now I don't know. I'm very disappointed in Phil. I'm not angry with Phil. I'm very disappointed.
Yeah, I just wish they had written him a bit more like a human being with feelings, not just this shell who's reading the newspaper after a murder.
Yeah, just the manipulativeness of it all. It's
very bizarre. But yeah, Ben's sleeping around. Callum's still missing.
But not for long.
Obviously, we don't know what Callum's been up to, so we can't.
But that's true. We can't judge Ben
because
Callum could be doing the same thing. He could be, fishing for a few men.
Maybe the way Callum comes back is Ben loads up his app again, and the person nearest him is Callum, and then they match.
And then you hear knock, 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 and Callum's like, "All right, Ben, it's me, Callum.
I'm here for a quick in and out."
Yeah, I'm here to say hello. I don't want anything else. Oh, Callum.
Yeah.
Do you reckon he'll come back with his hat?
No, the hat's gone.
Oh,
to heaven.
Yes.
Right, so we're going to go on now to, speaking of heaven, contacting heaven, we're going to go on to a seance.
Yes.
So yeah, Mystic Mo was back. She has been missed.
For a small fee, she will contact the dead and get them to eat sandwiches from around the house.
And
or biscuits,
hobnobs.
Wasn't it? Yeah, biscuits.
Hobnobs.
Was
They were branded.
They used the brand. They used the brand.
Hobnob.
They used the brand twice this week. I can't remember what the other one is now, but I was quite shocked
I think it was
by it.
Night and Whey.
Oh yeah,
The new protein powder.
that new pyramid scheme from Facebook. Can you imagine Leo King doing? I know we'll talk about this a bit later, but can you imagine him doing like those videos? You know, those promotional videos like unique people do. It's like, oh yeah,
What, Facebook Live?
Yeah. Hello guys, I've got this new lipstick, this new whey and protein. I just can't imagine it. Anyway, we'll talk about him.
Yeah, we'll do that later. We'll talk about Mystic Mo and the seance.
Yes. She should have known I'd be talking about him first.
Because lovely Mo, she's just all proud and happy. She wants to cheer Jean up, so she's like, well, why don't we contact Daniel, put your mind at rest, and it will be happy. But obviously we know that Jean's doing these secret like little dates where she's super happy anyway with Daniel.
And Kush spots that she's making like more sandwiches than a small army could eat, and so follows Jean
because he's hungry.
Yeah, he's following the scent. He's like a Bisto kid, and he's on the way to basically go to the same meeting at the allotment.
Snooping
around.
Lovely
But he
Kush.
knew about Daniel anyway, and it was all a happy coincidence, and they all laugh about it. And then they all come up with a very devious plan, very Scooby-Doo, where they're going to act out the seance, and Daniel will appear as if he's a ghost.
Yeah, but a little joke. But I do think that Kush is like the nicest man in Walford.
Yeah, I know. He supports everyone, doesn't he?
He's just nice. He's not done anything horrible yet, apart from that one time he slept with that random girl when he was with Denise.
Oh, when he slept with Stacey when she was married to Martin.
No, they're on a break, so that's fine. Martin and Stacey weren't together at the time.
That's a very...
But, you know, he's such a nice guy, Kush. He's just there for everyone. He's like, there are all these Slater women. Not many men can handle all those Slater women. But
No.
He's doing all right.
Yeah, he is actually, to be fair. And they all
He's not had a
respect him as
breakdown
well.
yet.
No.
They all fancy him. They're all nice to him.
Yeah, that's true. Mo fancies him. Jean respects him. Kat's sleeping with him. He's like the support bra of the Slaters.
Of Big Mo.
Yeah.
The one that she's been looking for all these years.
Yeah, he's the incontinent pants of Mo.
So yeah, I do like Kush. He's like, every time he's on screen, it's like, are you a nice guy?
Yeah.
You're the last nice guy in Walford.
He's not gone dark yet. But give it time. Give it time.
Yeah, I mean, they just did that little joke, and then Daniel like turned up, and they were kind of nearly mad. But then Jean was like, well, actually, he's paid the rent.
And
so
then they were like, oh,
mad.
welcome to the family.
Yeah.
Come on in. That's how you get to the heart of the Slater.
Yeah. And then that was it, really. Like with the Slaters, there wasn't much else.
There was a good
going
line
on.
when Jean said to Mo that was the first time a seance actually worked, which I enjoyed. I thought it was quite a comical moment. But I enjoyed that he reminded me of Eddie Hitler as the character in Bottom. Yes, again.
Who?
When he was in Bottom with Rick
Oh,
Mail.
Daniel, right.
Yeah, Daniel. Yeah, not Kush. He was probably a toddler at the time. He walked in with the two biscuits. It reminded me of a scene from Bottom.
Maybe it was
just
a little
bit.
Easter egg, maybe.
Mm.
Did they do it on purpose?
I doubt it. I just think that's how Adrian Edmondson acts when he acts comedy. That's all he knows.
But yeah, Daniel's secret's out now, so I'm guessing he'll die soon.
Yeah, I know. I thought that too. It's kind of lined up, isn't it? It's like now everyone's happy and joyful and
rich.
Rich, yeah, and Daniel will die. And he'll properly die. Or will he? Well, oh, God, I can imagine if they do it again. His fake death.
No, that'd be it. I guess maybe he'll die on the 35th anniversary just for a bit of sadness. Maybe. He'll last that long.
I wonder what's happening on the 35th anniversary.
Nothing's building up to it yet. It's not that long away.
No, it really isn't. It's next month. I think it's a month away now.
Yeah, a month and 9 days. Well, it's the 19th of Feb. You should know that. It's the birth of EastEnders.
Oh, well, when this is released, it'll be a month and 17 days.
That's true. But yeah, nothing's building up to that, so maybe he'll die, I'm guessing. One of the things. But that's all I can say about Slaters, I'm afraid, everyone. No, very bare this week.
Yeah. I tell you what we could talk about.
What?
A classic. We could step back in time and talk about some classic.
Oh, yeah, because it's really good at the moment.
Yeah. And a year has passed on the drama channel, and anyone who's been watching it would maybe want to just have a quick recap.
A recap of, what year is it? 1991.
There's a magical mystery tour of the human digestive system in Body Matters in half an hour on BBC One after this evening's episode of EastEnders.
The time has come for us to review 1991. 'Cause it's finished on Classic,
Mm-hmm.
on Drama Channel.
Yes, if you've been watching in the UK. No More is 91. We're now into 92. Can you believe how quick it's gone?
That's how it tends to work.
Yeah, that's how numbers work. You go up by one.
But yeah, 91 was a really good year, I remember. It was much improved from the dodgy 2 years we had beforehand.
A new producer, new ethic and what they wanted the direction of the show to go. Rather than being all friendly and chummy with one another, they wanted it to be dark, and there was a lot more trouble and a lot more problems for people. I mean, the Fowlers seemed to get in a lot of trouble, and so did Sharon. So all the originals were getting like their
first murder as well.
Yes, yeah. Well, the first murder on screen. Yeah,
exactly.
There had been a murder right at the very beginning with Reg.
Yeah, that doesn't count.
No.
This was like the first killing off the character as a murder.
A character who, quite frankly, was welcome to be killed.
Yeah, he was awful. Poor Eddie.
He was like an echo, a hangover almost of the late 80s, early 90s, wasn't he? Where they were still trying
killing him was symbolic of killing.
It was
the 80s,
the era. Yeah, it really was. It was basically saying no more of that. Now we're getting into dark territory.
Right at the beginning of the year, we had Deezer, who appeared like months and months beforehand when Diane ran away in 1990. And she turns up at the square again, which was really like a surprise and a shock when she just came out of nowhere, because she hadn't been mentioned since that episode. But she was pregnant. She had a baby.
She had the baby, and then she couldn't decide whether she wanted to keep it or give it away. And then the father of the baby, to everyone's surprise, was her own stepfather.
So talk about dark storyline.
Yeah, so started with mean to go on. Dot came into her own. I mean, this was a Dot heavy year too. She had lots of interesting stories, but with Deezer,
it's another runaway that she wanted to bring
and care for. Yeah. And Deezer's mum was just amazing. The way she kept screaming at everyone in the rain.
Yeah, she was awful.
She wouldn't believe it was her husband that had abused Deezer all these years. It was very much the Whitney Dean of the time, wasn't it? So you found out that she'd been abused for years by her dad, and that's why she was stepdad. Sorry, and she'd been very disagreeable with him. And Deezer's mum always thought it was just because she was a bit difficult to look after. She was just a difficult child, and so blamed her every time. But eventually, she found out there was actually it was her husband, Deezer's stepdad, that was the bad un.
And it ended up a bit weird because Deezer just decided to go back with her mum and leave Walford.
She did, because she started to trust her mum again after her stepdad got her arrested and taken to prison because he kidnapped Deezer's baby as well.
And Dot was involved in that police chase, wasn't she?
Yeah, well, she every time they phoned the police, they had the bug on the phone, and Dot was the one negotiating whether seeing the baby or not. I mean, Dot, I love
Dot's best moment.
Absolutely.
We had that weird storyline as well with Peter Bill.
What? What was
still alive?
That was a bit weird, yeah.
Only got 2 more years of him left now.
Oh, good.
Such a shame.
I know.
But yeah, he befriended that boy and got obsessed with some young boy. It was really weird.
It was a bit. Well, I don't want to say what it seemed like, but yes, it was a bit weird. And this boy stole fruit from his fruit store, and he chased him, and then he realised that the boy was a bit.
It was like Oliver Twist.
It was. That's
really
good.
Weird.
And Pete Bill was Fagin.
And he was found out the boy was getting abused by his dad, and then Pete was being weirdly overprotective about this boy, and it was just really creepy. And it ended up Pete ended up looking more creepy than the dad abusing him, really. Yeah,
the social services basically pretty much said to him, "Look, Peter,
could you leave this boy alone?"
Yeah, could you just tone it down a bit and just forget about it? Yeah?
Bless him.
And he did, and we never saw the boy again.
No, that was it.
Oliver Twist no more.
I think that was a cut storyline. We had the recast Mark, obviously, has his secrets.
Yes, Todd Carty. Obviously, you don't have any memories of Todd Carty from Grange Hill.
Oh, no. I just remember as Mark. Drip of a Mark. But he's not a drip when he first came into it. He was really good character, actually. He was used massively throughout the year, and he had his secret, and he let Diane in on it, who was his girlfriend at the time, that he had HIV. And obviously Diane randomly left this year, which was a shame.
She went to France. She went for a college trip to France. Liked it so much she decided to stay.
Just didn't come back for years.
Became a lesbian.
Yeah. No, not yet. She comes back and then leaves again, and then...
Oh, okay.
I think she's lesbian then.
And then she's a lesbian.
I think.
Okay.
But it is a shame that Diane left, because she's so cool. She was such a good character.
She was almost Frank's softening side, wasn't she? And now Frank's lost Diane. He has become a lot more harsher toward his family, and he shows hints of showing old Frank. But Frank, I think, is the most tired of 1991. I think he had the hardest year with so many things, and he didn't take it very well on a lot of the occasions.
Yeah, I remember the actor. I can't remember the actor's name now. What's his name?
Who, Frank?
Yeah, Mike Reed. I remember him saying something like he never understood why Frank ever came back to Walford, because he said all of his miserable years, one after another, just got worse and worse and worse when he was on that show. So he couldn't understand it.
But Mike Reed did come back, probably for the paycheck. But Mike Reed is a legend, so I would never say, I wouldn't hear anything bad said against him. And Frank Butcher, by association, is the same.
Yeah, made lots of bad mistakes.
I'm going to say my most favourite part of the year, which is when Ricky and Sam eloped and got married in Scotland.
Oh,
Shall I say
very 2019.
Yeah, I was going to say Tiff and Keegan may have something to follow by there.
Yeah, I mean, they were really good episodes, but they were more drawn out than the Tiff and Keegan ones. Like, because they ran away, they had no money, they had their little camper van.
Well, they had to get a license, and they didn't realise that you can't just get a license and then get married.
No,
you have to wait
2 weeks.
2 weeks
On the run.
Yeah, so they camped out in Scotland for 2 weeks. In a very warm Scotland, it seemed. It was a lovely time for them.
And they befriended like another couple who were doing the same thing, who were like a bit weird. Like the guy kept singing on guitar.
Oh yeah, he got his guitar out and started singing and kumbayaing round a bean
and the
campfire.
the girl who eventually comes back into it years later as Ricky's girlfriend, but as a different character.
Yeah,
the same actress. She like gave her wedding dress to Sam and was like, "Oh, you can borrow it."
Well, no, it wasn't a borrow. She said she can keep it.
Oh, was it because they weren't going to get married?
They weren't going to get married because she fell out with her fiance, and he was like, "Oh, I don't want to get married to you anymore," and then ran off. And then they had all their stuff, all their worldly goods stolen, and that was it. That was the last straw for the other couple. But for Ricky and Sam, they ploughed through. They got spotted by Pat, who gave them enough money to get married with. In the garage toilets. But again, Frank saw sense in the end and watched and witnessed and blessed their wedding. But
and we also had original Peggy as well. The really bad one.
Not the Barbara Windsor Peggy.
The awful one.
Yeah, she was introduced.
With her shoulder pads and eyebrows.
and her painted on eyebrows. Very frightening. But she refused point blank to go to the blessing later on, because they had then a blessing, didn't they, back in Walford?
Oh yeah, it was something like that. And then she cleaned the house instead and then changed her mind.
Yeah, she found other things to do, yeah. But no one likes original Peggy. Bring back Barb.
Not long. Do you want to talk about the first murder then of Eddie?
Oh, go on then.
He was stabbed
in
the
the Square Gardens, yeah. Found by Clyde.
Who acted really irrationally, like he did actually kill him, and like burnt the knife in a fireplace and all sorts.
Well, he picked up the knife, put it back down next to Eddie, then used his own like clothes or his towel that he used for the gym to clean his bloody hands up, and then just kept sneaking around the square, like watching things as they were developing, and then ran into the Tavernier's house, threw the towel on the fire. His granddad saw. It was all very. He made himself look more suspicious than necessary.
It was really silly, but like the whole storyline of him on the run.
Yeah,
with Michelle, because Michelle basically wanted to sleep with him.
And Michelle was hot for Clyde, wasn't she?
So she was doing anything to basically get
wet
with
for him. Yeah.
And they went to Portsmouth and filmed on location.
We looked everywhere, didn't we? Because they said the port name where they were in Portsmouth, and we were looking on Google Maps to find where it was, so we could take a picture of ourselves stood outside the port harbour, but we couldn't find it. So we think they made up the name.
But because he didn't kill Eddie.
Obviously. No, he didn't.
It was Nasty Nick.
But he couldn't have possibly done it because he was locked in the bedroom because Dot and Pete.
Oh yeah, Pete
was trying to get him off smack.
Busy Pete.
Yeah,
him and Dot had quite a friendship this year, actually. Pete and Dot,
and it carried over to 1992 as well. But obviously we'll talk about that when we do our summing up of 92. But Nick found a way of letting himself out and climbing down the drain pipe so he could get himself some more smack. Saw that Clyde had picked up the weapon and used that as an opportunity to kind of frame him for the crime. And he was very clever about it because the detective, whose only line was pretty much "Try to remember."
Oh yeah,
what happened? Try to remember.
She looked a bit like Jean Slater, kind of, but a bit more fishy.
Fishy?
Like Trouty, her mouth was a bit trouty.
I thought you meant fishy as in drag sense.
No.
Ooh, fishy.
But yeah, she was just, as all police are, useless. But there was quite a nice way that they showed like the divide of black people in London and how they were always like, oh, there's a black person, he must have done it, let's blame him. So that was like quite a good
It was convenient for the police force to do that, as you say. Yeah, totally. It really was.
And obviously the death of Eddie led to our Sharon's dream.
Yes. She got her pub back.
Which was another, like, there was a line where Grant said, I'll do anything to get this pub for you, to Sharon. And that was another, like, he basically said that so we thought maybe Grant killed Eddie.
Also,
like a suspect situation.
Yeah, and he was also a suspect because he had previously, at the beginning of the year, beaten up Eddie close to death when he thought that Eddie had tried to make a move onto Sharon.
Which he did.
Which he did, yes. But then he said, "Oh, it was a joke. Oh, Sharon, you overreacted. It was all a joke."
Sharon took him to a tribunal and all sorts.
And she won.
Unfair dismissal.
Yeah.
And she was awful as well. She was just walking out of work but blaming him. So
yeah,
they're both as bad as each other.
I mean, when Eddie was holding the Vic, all the staff members, Sharon and Simon, like they used to just basically take leave whenever they wanted to, and Eddie had no control whatsoever.
He changed that.
And if you notice also, and when Eddie ran the Vic, it was really quite quiet and it wasn't that busy. It just had a kind of rumbling to it. And as soon as Sharon took over the Vic, it suddenly became a very busy pub again. So it's obviously that I think they were quite clever, the production team, with that. I think that was a very conscious effort that they made a point to show that it was always meant to be Sharon's Vic.
Because he was going to change the name to the original name, wasn't he? Like the Victoria Tavern or something.
Oh, yeah.
Stupid. But Grant ended up buying the Vic for her because she sold
Phil.
She sold her flat to them and then they sold the flat again to then get her to buy something. It was really
so Phil and Grant and Sharon made an arrangement that they would buy the Vic together. Sharon would ultimately run it, but they'd all live in it together. And it would be a three-way partnership. I don't know where Sharon got her money from. Well, I suppose from the sale of the flat. Yeah, so she used that, and then they sold the flat, which we know who they sold it to, but that's a 1992 story, so we'll keep that to ourselves. Taps nose in
a few months
way. Yes.
And that was it really for the year.
Not quite, sir. We got to see Linda Henry, but not as Shirley, as Lorraine Salter.
Oh yeah, she made a little cameo.
The tart with a heart. Well, not really. Actually, she was quite suspicious the whole time, and she used Pat really to
because Pat met her like in an old dive bar that she used to frequent in her younger years.
Pat and Frank had a huge argument because Pat wanted the Vic, and Frank said, "We can't afford it. I can't invest in it. You wanted to get rid of the Vic originally.
You wanted the B&B. Now you don't want the B&B."
Yeah, and so Pat tried to sink away her woes by finding herself a man. She went to the old haunt where she used to go and pick up men.
Too old though.
Yes.
Old cow.
Well, she picked up an old tart instead, and which was Linda Henry.
She was being like beaten by her husband, but she kind of at the same time was kind of using Pat to try and get a bit more.
Well, I don't think it was her husband. I think it was one of the clients.
Oh, right, yeah.
Because you saw in when she was in the pub that they kind of just used her and kind of thought they could say and abuse her as much as they wanted. Pat stepped in, and so Linda then took that opportunity that when she got very badly hurt to use Pat as a prop to help her back up again and find her feet. But unfortunately, she overstayed her welcome somewhat and then was chucked out of the B&B by Frank. Good. But then she comes back again later on, and you were telling me that she was played by another actress who was in Bad Girls, Ben's favourite drama on ITV.
Yeah, one of Julie's played her. Well, Shirley was in the show, so that's all a bit odd.
But then, that's because Shirley was in the show. Although I would have liked it if they'd done it so it was the same.
Shirley plays two characters.
Yeah. And you found out that they were like twins in the past or something like that. That would have been a nice little twist.
But a good year overall.
Yeah, it was. I mean, there was also the abortion storyline with Etta Tavernier.
Yeah, not the Tavernier.
But you don't like the Tavernier.
So rubbish. Apart from Hetty and Clyde. They're okay, but still not that good.
Well, Hetty doesn't go on to further education. She starts working for Ian at the mill machine. Yeah. So Ian's empire starts, very creepy. The way Ian...
And he sacks that guy, not because he's gay. He doesn't mind gay.
No.
But he's got HIV. So.
Yeah, that's Mark's friend, isn't it? Joe, yeah. Oh, Joe was the one who ultimately cleared Clyde's name because he saw that...
He saw Nick.
He saw Nick that did it. Yeah.
Lovely Joe.
I'd love them to bring Joe back.
Well, sad news, I'm afraid.
Has he died?
You have to wait for
a few... my goodness.
93, 94.
Oh, wow. It's a long way yet. Okay, fair enough. But yeah, no, 91, back on their feet. Good year. We strongly recommend if you do live in the UK or you have a means of watching it, if you live outside the UK, to catch up on the episodes. You can find them on the UK TV Play website and just look through the drama channel.
Lovely. There you go. So that was the whole review of 1991.
We're glad you could join us, and we hope we'll meet up again tomorrow. But for now, this is Malcolm Einan wishing you a very good night on behalf of everybody here at the Television Centre.
Well, that was lovely.
Yeah.
Such fond memories of 91.
And
Sharon got her first good haircut and wore her first miniskirt.
Her first of many miniskirts. Really short, those skirts she was wearing.
Good. That's what I can live up to.
And a lot of Grant nakedness as well.
I can get behind that too.
I bet you can.
Right, so we're going to go and move on to the sort of Karen/Billy Honey, and the pageant finally happened.
Yeah.
Saw some new skills from Janet, which I loved.
Yeah, we did. DJ Canet, as I'm calling her, because of her cat ears and her name being Janet.
Oh, yeah.
That's right, I can combine names too. DJ Canet.
She was so sweet, the girl who plays Janet, when she was looking. I don't know if I think you were writing that, so you didn't see it, but there was a scene where she was looking at the stage from like half hiding behind the glass door, like looking like really like, I can't wait to go up there. And it was like, oh, that's really sweet.
Who was that, Janet?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I did miss that.
Yeah, you have to rewatch it. It's really like, oh,
I just
it was a Stacey.
Was there? It was
moment.
a real heartfelt moment.
Yeah.
All I remember is Janet walking into the toilet and listening to her mum being sick.
You're not quite sweet.
No.
A bit sour.
The way she kind of knocked on the door, Mum, he's like, get out! I'm throwing up.
What are you doing? So we obviously have to think about why she was being sick.
Yeah.
Lovely Mitch was getting jealous about Billy and Karen's on and off relationship. So he was like, oh, I can date too. Out of all the women, I'm going to pick Billy's ex, Honey. And then like takes her on this date, but then ends up making fun of her. Like ordering her chips when she didn't want chips and like making a big deal out of it.
Shouts at Habiba for service like an ignorant pig.
Habiba still hasn't had a full dialogue sequence yet.
No.
For some reason.
It's really weird, isn't it, what they've done with Habiba? They turned her into a background character. The
Marie has had more lines.
I was about to say that. Yeah, Marie had more lines this week when she interacted with Whitney at the cafe. Said, "Oh, someone's bought you this already." So yeah,
it's odd.
really
I don't know. Maybe
strange.
something's going on behind the scenes. Maybe she had to have time off for illness or something, because she has been missing for like months and she's had no dialogue or anything. So
it's just the fact that she's not being. Like, there's opportunity there for her being involved with Iqra.
Well, she wasn't even there with the end of Adam. So
Yeah.
obviously something is happening.
Yeah, because it was Iqra and Ash who kind of did the supporting scenes at the end of that.
Which is weird.
Which you think, yeah, exactly. You think Habiba would be the one.
Something going on there, but we don't know. Can't speculate. It's rude.
Nope.
But yeah, she goes on a date with Mitch, unfortunately.
Mm.
She overhears him like making fun of her to Bailey, saying that she's a bit boring all of a sudden and she's a bit odd.
Temperamental, and she comes to 1 minute she's really happy and sweet and they're laughing, and the next minute she's very serious and won't eat chips. I mean, that's what he based this whole date on. The fact that he was desperate for her to eat chips. All he wanted was her to eat a chip. If she just had a chip, it might have gone so much better that night.
She's probably better off without him though, because he's such a
Oh, no one wants to date Mitch.
rip.
I mean, he soon got over it.
But I mean, it's quite nice. Not nice, but it's interesting how they're doing this like bulimia storyline, because they showed her binge eating, which we've not seen that before with Honey.
And it was really frantic, the way it cut really quickly, and you could see her like stuffing the food in her mouth and jumping from one food to the next and crying and almost confused by what she was doing. Also, she was eating on autopilot, like when you're watching television and eating, you're not realising what you're sticking in your mouth, and then
just putting anything in your mouth that you can.
And then in the next minute she realised the realisation of what she was doing, and she called herself disgusting as well. And then at that moment they all walked in through the door, and she was embarrassed immediately. You know, it was really well done. Great scene.
It was really well done. And then during the pageant she ran off to the bathroom quickly, and that's when Janet was like, oh, and I followed her, so she missed her moment on the spotlight.
It was fine though.
The guy was like, it's been 1 second, no.
I know, I'm going once, going twice. You're not an act on this show. And it was, I know, calm yourself.
Time to run up to the stage or anything. You know, she was there.
But luckily, the spirit of Walford kicked in once again. Let's never forget when Bex was in the locker, and the whole school wanted to hear her perform her guitar song. That guitar that she no longer owns.
No.
And she and they did the same with Janet. So everyone got up on stage, including Kathy.
I know Kathy was like sitting down for ages, and she was like, everyone's getting up. All right, I'll get up. If I get up, Kathy, the Queen of Walford, then it will mean something.
Then the compare's going to listen to exactly what I'm talking about.
But yeah, they're all screaming for Janet.
Yeah, Janet, Bex.
No wonder she won. The judges probably thought, if we don't let her win, they're going to...
She's popular. There'll be a riot if she don't win.
Us if we don't make her win.
We'll never do this again.
But she did win, DJ Janet, because she was watching Honey be sick. And Billy walks in and he knows now. And he's obviously noticed, unlike Adam, who didn't really care. He did notice but didn't care.
He didn't care,
Billy does care.
Oh yeah, he's a caring soul. And then he said as well, as much as he loves Karen,
Lola.
Honey will always be his one. And so yet again, but in a funny way, we were complaining and moaning about, oh God, I hope they don't do a Honey and Billy story and then on and off again story, and oh, please don't do that again. But because of this bulimic storyline and this eating disorder storyline, I should say, it actually makes it a bit more interesting and a bit more, yes, there is a basis for
more to them.
Yeah, there is a basis for them to come together again. And I like to see, because Honey needs that help and that comfort and someone to put under
that support.
The support, yeah. So.
And we do forget after all these years, both of the actors can act really well, like Honey and Billy. You just kind of forgot that because they've just been given trash for like years. So having this, like, I think having this decent material actually does help them a lot.
I didn't like though that Billy just kind of overreacted when they got back from the pageant, and he's just said, "Oh, honey, you know, is there something you want to tell me? Is there something wrong while you're being sick in the toilet?" And she was like, "Oh, no, I just didn't feel too well." And then he just instantly went, "No, honey, what happened?" And just shouted at her. And unsurprisingly, she was quite surprised and shocked and upset by this sudden impactful shouting in her
Mitchell.
face. Yeah,
See, there's that little bit of Mitchell in him.
He's got a little bit of Mitchell, but he doesn't believe the Mitchells. He's on team Keanu, isn't he? He's already said he believes Karen, and that's why they're back together again.
Yeah, they were like on and off and all sorts of
But
rubbish.
that's another thing that's kind of upset Honey as well, isn't it? That he knows that Billy's back with Karen.
I don't know why, because she was with Adam for ages. So
she has the upper hand. She likes to think that she's a bit superior, doesn't she?
Well,
So
she's not.
No, we know that.
Janet is.
Janet is queen. Janet Queen. She is.
Have we ever had a reference to her wanting like doing DJing before? Is this the new thing?
We're just dropping needles on records.
Yeah, I've never seen her interest in this before.
It was quite a professional deck as well, wasn't it?
I know, she was on it. Way better than Lexi.
Oh, goodness, yeah. All Lexi did was stomp her feet. And it
she did a Ben Mitchell tribute act.
Yeah, it reminded me a bit of... Remember when President Trump... Remember when Donald Trump was going to be president and they go, "Donald Trump,
yeah,
here he comes." Like it reminded me of that. Maybe you should have done that for Boris Johnson. Have Lexi on stage go, "Boris comes, London mayor."
Yeah, I mean, Lexi's was doing it for Ben to, like, I don't know, really, I don't really get it. Was it because did he do a dance to that
He did a
song?
Lady Gaga song, didn't he, with a
that
bin
song,
lid,
though?
with a
And
bin lid in his chest.
a Bad Girls, and a Girls Aloud song once, but not a Little Mix.
He did
one.
that with Louise as well, that Lady Gaga song.
Yeah.
Love Game, wasn't it? In front of Shirley and Phil. I
Poker
believe it
Face?
was.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Not sure.
All I remember is he basically put on a bin as a costume, and he had like sunglasses on, and Phil was not pleased.
But I mean, Lexi was like really upset and was like being bitchy to Janet.
Yeah, it's like, oh, no wonder she won. It's 2020. What a surprise. All PC. How sick. How boring.
Right.
And good old Lola, she did say, well, if she's one of the family, and if she wins, then the family win. Ben was like, no.
I think
you should have won. You were better.
I saw somewhere that someone said they worked it out that Janet is Lexi's aunt. So like Aunt Janet won.
Aunt Janet was in the same competition as Lexi.
How weird's that?
Yeah,
but I guess
fun.
it is if you work down the family like that way.
Well, yeah, it must be because Billy is Lola's father.
Well, grandfather.
Well, yeah, that's right, because he calls her Pop.
Yeah.
So it's great aunt. It's her great aunt.
Great aunt. Or aunt removed. But yeah, Aunt Janet won.
Good
so
old Aunt Canet.
I would have voted for her.
DJ Auntie Canet.
Right, so let's go on to talk about Keegan. He's back with his storyline with his sandwiches.
Yeah.
And Vinny's getting involved.
New BFF.
Yeah, lovely
Why not?
Vinny. I mean, they did make like best friends very quickly.
They really did. Over a joke about drug dealing and a moped.
Because like he met Vinny once in the cafe, and then like the next episode, Chantelle said something about Vinny, and he was like, "Don't you dare talk about Vinny like that." It's like, all right.
If
When
I
did
wasn't
you two
married to
become
Tiff,
friends? Yeah.
I'd be married to Vinny.
Yeah. But apparently it's his first friend since Shaquille.
Yes, exactly. His first close male friend. And also Keanu's gone missing too, who he was very close with. And obviously he's got that friendship with Bailey, but Bailey's a little girl, possibly his aunt. So it's nice that he's got that bond. But Chantelle rightfully said, you need to be careful about the Panesars. They can be a bit funny.
Don't trust them.
And he threw it back in her face and said, you don't care. You don't care about any of us. You haven't even once mentioned Keanu since you got back. So stop being a snob.
He did bring up the fact that all of us have been saying that she never spends any time with the Taylors. He did bring that up, so that's good. But no, I like him and Vinny like as a little friendship group, and it gets Vinny away from his other brothers, which is always good.
Yeah, it's nice that he's got another project.
But Gray was quick to fire them as well.
Yeah.
From sandwich making.
which I didn't really understand, because like Keegan turned up with the sandwiches, said, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm a bit late, a few problems, but I'm not going to bog you down with it." And Gray was like, "Well, you're too late now, because here they come. Here come the other sandwiches." It's like, well, they came later than Keegan. So if you just had the patience to wait for Keegan, everything would have been okay.
No, he ruined it. We saw that office set again, and people in the firm didn't like it.
But they got new clients.
Exactly. Obviously, the reason that they were late was because they did that like stop and search storyline again, which they did like a few weeks ago with Mitch and Keegan. And
the cat. It's been very naughty.
Stupid. Vinny and Keegan got stopped again, and they spent quite a lot of time on this scene. And it was really nice and interesting how they showed that Keegan, because if you remember when Keegan was first in it, he was really hot-headed and hot-tempered, and the slightest thing would throw him off.
And he was upset and embarrassed by the whole situation too.
But this time he was calm. He did what they said. He asked all the right questions.
Yeah.
He asked for all the
ID.
things.
He asked for what they were searching him for. He asked for a record of the search as well. So he did it properly. He had it in account that he'd been searched. That was the right way for him to do it. But Vinny rightly also pointed out that if they had been two white guys on a moped, would that perhaps have been a problem? Would they have been stopped and searched?
I mean, it's interesting that they had the policeman. They had a white policeman and a black policeman. That was interesting as well, because the policeman said, you can't say this is racial profiling because of me. And it's like, okay. It's a real interesting way that they did that.
But it's a lot of people would argue that perhaps, if when you become a police officer, you are taught to profile people.
Exactly.
Be it racial or not, on purpose or not, you are taught to profile people. And yes, okay, someone had their mobile phone stolen. Yes, it was someone on a moped, but
it's not going to be someone with a moped with a business thing on the back. It's so ridiculous.
Exactly. It was clear of that.
But obviously Vinny has was like, oh no, I'm going to stand up against this because this happened to me loads. And Keegan kind of wanted to keep it quiet and.
Yeah, he didn't want to make
really
it
happen. He
didn't want to make it part of him, did he? He didn't want to make it associated with his character.
It's almost like he's accepting this just happens.
Yeah.
And then Vinny, I guess, was like, no, this shouldn't just be something that just happens.
Which Vinny's right about, because if you accept it and just lay down and let it happen, then they'll do it more, and it will carry on, and it will get worse and worse and worse. And sometimes you do need to fight for a cause. Tiff was quite upset too, because she wasn't told about it when he was first stopped and searched, and the second time it only really came out. Yeah, exactly. We're meant to keep no secrets from each other. Mick and Linda would never keep a secret.
We're not the Carters.
No, clearly.
We're the Butcher Bakers.
Absolutely. Sandwich makers.
But, Vinny, yes, he had a good point. But Vinny's family aren't exactly known to be squeaky clean, are they?
They're not. I mean, their first scene was kidnapping Lola and taking her to a warehouse.
Exactly. So, that was a bit of a funny thing. But it's interesting because I thought when they did that a while ago with Mitch, I thought that was a little topical thing they just did, and then that was it. But obviously they're going to continue with it. But
they really focused on it as well. It was that was a long scene. EastEnders has been, especially recently, been having very short, snappy scenes when they're trying to make points. Like with the Chantelle and Grey story, they've been very short and quite snappy and very tense.
They showed this in full, didn't
they? This was
in
full. You saw the full conversation. You saw the Q&A between Keegan and the police officers. You even saw the search. And again, Zach Morris, brilliant job. And I love the way he kind of you could tell inside he just wanted to scream at them and say, why are you doing this? Why are you choosing us over hundreds of other people? And the background characters also, I know it's a silly little small thing to notice, but when you was watching them, you could see they quite realistically, some of them were stopping and they're kind of whispering to each other and
and that's the
past.
Embarrassment of being stopped and I guess the name of his new company and
exactly, it pushes it into tarnish.
But I mean, as a storyline, it's really good and it's important. I just don't know, as a storyline, what do? You can't stop it. You can't. Is it just to raise awareness and it will just kind of not really? There's no end, if you know what I mean, as a storyline.
Yeah. Or maybe at some point, this will crack Keegan. Is that what they're trying to show? That Keegan, obviously, he's had to have therapy over the death of his best friend Shaquille and the knife crime incident. And I don't know if he's felt like he's really got the support from the police after the knife crime either. Okay, they arrested someone over it, but was it given the full emphasis that maybe Keegan felt it needed when he was, stabbed him? It's an interesting one, and I think it's very much a Keegan focused story, and it'd be nice that they're doing something along those lines. I think it'd be interesting to see where that leads.
I mean, maybe the police need to focus on someone else in Walford called Leo.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, isn't it? Of all the people, but then Leo's white, so why would they give a damn?
Because he's got a market stall.
He has.
I mean, what does a trainee lawyer solicitor do on a market? What's the first go-to? I couldn't work it out a few weeks ago.
I reckon that they would sell protein powders that help you perform at the gym.
Trying to get Kush on side.
Of course. I mean, the name is a stroke of genius.
It is.
And I felt like an idiot for not spotting it, but luckily one of our very keen-eyed Twitter followers did spot it. So the store is called Night and Way, and it's an anagram of Whitney Dean. It's just Genius.
Genius and like super creepy. Like Leo's creepiness is just, he does all these funny like little puppy dog faces at her, like I'm all nice and innocent.
Well, he stares at her, doesn't he? Just looks at her, like, I love
sorry.
you.
I'm also creepy. But yeah, Whitney Dean is the anagram, which is just really weird. I think the script writing things were a bit upset that people on Twitter guessed it so quick.
I believe they are too.
Because they tweeted and were like, I can't believe everyone worked it out straight away.
It was literally the minute it was on screen, and because I will never put my hands up and admit that I would never have spotted that, not in a million years. But the fact that someone instantly, as soon as we tweeted out, that's the name of the company, and someone said, "Oh, that's an anagram, Whitney Dean."
Yeah,
I was like, wow, mind blown.
But yeah, I mean, he's still like asking her on dates and saying he loves her, and he's working opposite her, and there's nothing she can do about it. Like, even Mr. Lister was like, I don't care.
Mr. Lister, the market inspector, nice to see him back.
I know.
Dock my cap to you, my sir.
But he was just like, I don't care. He's paying his things, so tough.
Yeah, and he also said, the plan of him, basically wanting to get revenge on you by setting up a market stall and then setting up a whole new company and selling protein powder.
No one's that crazy.
Yeah, that's a very elaborate plan. No one would ever do something like that, but little does he know.
Yeah, little Leo, because he bought her favourite sandwich, because obviously he knows everything about her.
Yeah.
Her lunch. And Marie was like, that lovely guy over there.
Yeah.
I think Marie wants a bit.
I don't blame Marie.
Leo.
What does Marie do outside of the cafe, do you think?
She did date Shrimpy when he was two-timing her with that blonde girl.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah, that was Shrimpy's little naughtiness. Do you reckon she goes home, has a microwave Weight Watchers meal, and just sits with her cat?
She's probably friends with Tracy.
Yeah, but Tracy lives far away. Remember, she has to catch her bus every time she works at the Vic. She only does it because she loves working at the Vic so much. She lives on like the other side of London. She lives in West London, for goodness sake.
Who knows? We're talking about Whitney here.
Sorry, I
Marie.
I get so absorbed by the background characters, and it's been so long since we've talked about them. There was a time when there was so little going on the main soap. That's all we talked about.
A bit like this week on the soap. But he asked her for a date, and for some reason she said yes at the door.
She was a bit blindsided, wasn't she? She was a bit overwhelmed.
She
by
dropped
the
her
situation.
keys and her rape alarm.
Yeah, but not her chips. Luckily, I mean, again, how lazy does someone have to be? Sonia had cooked a pie. Like made a pie from scratch. Yeah, she got a pie or something out of the oven, but she couldn't be bothered to get a bag of oven chips out and just cook them. She was like, "Oh, Whitney, go to the chip shop and get some chips." I can't be bothered to do that part. That's the difficult part, laying that on a tray.
I mean, Sonia and Martin both said to her, like, don't go. Like, you're a weirdo. Like, don't go on this date.
Yeah.
But she did want to go, and she didn't want anyone around her to save her or help her.
No.
And she basically just said, you're a freak. I don't like you. I never like you. Leave me alone.
Yeah, we don't have a bond because your dad loved me when I was a teenage girl and, and groomed me into having a relationship with him. So don't think that this is a link between us also having a blossoming relationship.
Then he went into his, childlike state again when he was talking to her, and he was like, we're the only two who have this bond together, and I do love you still. And...
But again, when you said when they were in the market and he was staring at her from over the market, when they're in Ruby's, it's so difficult to remember the club's now called Ruby's. He was sat at the table, wasn't he? He was leant forward a little bit.
Like a little boy, all happy. Yeah.
His fists were in his lap, and he was you could tell his shoulders were all up, waiting to hear a really nice response. And then as soon as she said, "Oh no," he shrugged and he his shoulders went down. And even when he walked out the club, his head was down. And he was stomping from one foot to the next. He was like, "Oh well, maybe next time I'll stalk her and I'll get it right."
He's obviously going to go to another creepy level now.
A darker place, and that's what Whitney's worried about, isn't it? And that's what she thinks. She thinks that his intentions are a lot darker. To let him off and keep letting him off is difficult and also a very dangerous game to play. Because Jack suggested taking evidence and just biding the time
down.
Yeah,
Kat wanted to just beat him up.
Yeah,
which could have worked.
Yeah, well, if it was Kat, Kush, and Martin. They could have done a good old fashioned mobbing and got him out the square.
Well, if this was the 80s,
yeah,
Pete Bill wouldn't have had any of this.
Oh no, Den!
What are you doing? Get out, Walford! No, leave my Whitney alone.
Don't want anyone like you out here, you nonce.
But old EastEnders, they would have all the characters would have teamed up and thrown out the trash and protected Whitney. But no, don't get that anymore. It's not like the old days.
2020. You
have to fight for
what would
himself.
Lexi say?
Yeah, so Kat's gonna swap for a week.
They're doing a job
opposite
swap,
him.
yeah.
And
Whitney's gonna become a clean slater. She had to
Yeah.
put her name in as well. It's like it's a trademarked name. It's they're so proud of it. And Kat's going to work at the clothes store. She's done it before. She has past experience. Plus, she's got Kush to look at throughout the day, so that's nice.
Yeah, I'll do it.
Yeah, could share a tea every now and then.
And if all else fails, they can just hire Martin to kill him.
Yeah. Well, or fake his death and give him a fake passport
anyway,
and let him fly away. Yeah.
Not very good. Right, so we're going to go off to our game now, where we're dipping into Deep Hole. Welcome to another edition of Pauline's Fruit Bowl.
Ooh,
this
exciting.
Is the acclaimed game.
Acclaimed by who?
By me. Where I have Pauline's Fruit Bowl in front of me, as you can see.
It's a beautiful fruit bowl.
And there's categories in there for you to pick at random. And what you need to do is give me the answers to the category you have in 30 seconds. And the amount of correct answers you give me equal guesses for the second question that I have coming up.
Okay.
So each question you get is like a life.
Yes.
In Pauline's world.
If only Pauline had more than one life, she'd still be with us today.
That's true. Right, so are you ready to pick your hand into the fruit bowl and pick up a category? The fruit bowl is real, everyone.
There it is. Going to have a little scrummage. Let's have a look. Take that one. Would you like me to read it out loud?
Yes.
Oh, God. Moons.
Oh, so you have to say as many moons, not in the solar system, as in characters, as you can.
Based in, obviously,
in 30 seconds.
In EastEnders.
EastEnders, yes, of course.
Okay.
Not moomins. Right, so you ready? In 3, 2, 1, go.
There's Alfie Moon.
Yes.
Michael Moon.
Yes.
Nana Moon.
Yep.
I'm trying to think of his brother, the Drip.
Currently in a relationship with Vicky Fowler.
In the soap?
Yes.
Okay.
15 seconds.
Terence or...
No. Move on, maybe. Come back.
I can't think of any others. There's the one who's played by David Essex. That's his father. I'm just going to say names: Simon, Bob, Colin. Oh, I know it. I know it. Oh, hang on. I know it. I know his blooming brother's name.
So you have... It was Spencer, by the way.
Spencer Moon. Goodness sake.
Right, so you have 3 chances to get this question correct, which I don't think you're going to get. So you have to be very on the ball here. So, according to Walford Webb's character appearance list...
Oh, it could be anyone.
How many episodes did Karen Taylor appear in 2019? For your information, there was a total of 210 episodes in the year.
That seems really low, 210.
No.
52. Oh, no, it doesn't. Okay. And I have to guess how many episodes Karen Taylor was in with 3 guesses.
Your fault.
Between 1 and 210. It's not my fault. It's Pauline Fowler for putting moons in there. Well, I might as well just go straight down the middle and say 155.
Lower.
Okay, so that's one of my guesses. Oh, God, I'm never going to get this. Karen Taylor, let's think what's happened to her. I'm going to say 75.
Higher.
Oh.
Your last guess. I will say she topped the list of most appearances.
What, in 2019?
Mm-hmm.
Really? What, above Ben?
Yep.
So basically a background character. She couldn't have...
She appeared in so many episodes.
More than 75, less than 155. Oh, stab in the dark.
This is it.
I'm going to say 100 and 27.
No, higher.
Well, that's
you want
it.
to know the answer?
Can I just take one more guess?
Yeah, but if you get it, it doesn't count.
I know. Okay. 143.
Lower.
Oh, for goodness sake, I don't care anymore.
It was 136 episodes, topping the list of appearances in the whole of 2019.
Oh, it's quite close then. 127. I was only 9 away.
No points.
If this was countdown and I had to get the number in the maths quiz at the end, if I was 9 away, I would get a point.
Well, this isn't countdown. It's Pauline's Fruit Bowl, and you get none. So there you go.
If Pauline was here, she'd give me a point.
This just goes to show how important those lives are.
Wow. That's very television of you.
Right, so there you go. That was Pauline's Fruit Bowl. You scored 0 out of 1.
Fail.
And we'll see how you do next time.
Good. Look forward to it. Can I just mention some of the moons that I could have had? This is what I could have won. Just for any listeners who maybe wanted to fill in the gap. So there was Cat Moon.
Yes, that was an easy one.
Bert and Ernie Moon.
Mm-hmm.
Tommy Moon.
Yep. The 2 Dodgy Moon brothers. I can't remember.
Dodgy Moon brothers.
The hot ones.
And Again, David Essex moon, which I can't remember. I can't remember who it is.
That's really helped the listeners. That has.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
I know.
The moons are a iffy period of time when they extended the moons.
But everyone loved the moons.
Did
But
they?
not the extended moons, but everyone liked
Nana Moon.
everyone liked Nana Moon and his brother
Spencer.
Moon. I try to forget Spencer. Do you reckon Spencer will ever come back?
No. Unless Vicky comes back.
What?
It's so weird
yeah.
that they're together off screen. It's so gross.
Oh, they actually? Is that the story?
Yeah, they live in Australia together.
Not still.
Yeah, that's why it's ridiculous. That's where Michelle is now, remember?
What,
To make up.
with Vicky and Spencer.
Mm.
Vicky and Spencer. That sounds like a reality show, doesn't it?
Right, so we're going to go on to the Gray and Chantelle storyline.
Mm.
Because they're back from their honeymoon, nice and relaxed and chilled and happy.
Not for long.
And that's the storyline.
yeah. They had a lovely time and everyone's happy.
No, he basically wants her to be pregnant.
Yeah.
They've been on a honeymoon. We know what they've been up to. So he's like, take a test. No.
Mm.
And she just isn't into it.
Which is, because she's got common sense and she knows
But she
if
doesn't want to
felt
be pregnant. So.
Yeah, and also true. And so that's obviously upset Gray because Gray doesn't think that she's as into the idea as he is, which she isn't. But she
can't tell him.
desperately trying
nutty.
to show it.
Yeah.
And
he's also like found out about the party, which he's pretending he's okay about, the New Year's Eve party, but in reality he's really like angry.
Yeah, he's being really passive aggressive about the whole thing, isn't he? So he's
like,
kind of
there was a party. No, I'm fine.
yeah.
But am I? It's like
There's a clock here. This is for my mum. It's broken, but that's okay. I don't mind.
And he's like, why are you scared, Chantelle? Saying, don't know what to do.
I
I
know,
don't know what to say. I don't know how to act.
His intensity has been knocked up to 11, and it's really taking its toll on Chantelle to
Getting
the point
jealous over Jags.
with Jags and like anyone basically. If Chantelle's in any kind of friendship with anyone or talking to anyone or helping anyone other than Gray's
like
getting
it.
instantly jealous, and he even says at the end of the week, I think it's best that it's just the two of us from now on. Now she's got to the point where her minute like movements or details or anything she's done on the day,
She has to explain.
she has to explain it away in case he finds out and finds some kind of small fault about it.
But then when she tells him, he's like, I don't need to know that.
Yeah.
But like, if she didn't tell him, he would have
Gone off on one, and possibly broken her arm again because he broke her arm from just the
when
force.
she was going back to hairdressing. So.
Oh, do you think that was a deliberate?
Slightly deliberate of him.
I don't know. That seems
he didn't
really
want her to go to work.
calculated. Yeah.
He didn't want her to go to work before, though, did he?
But he knew he visited Denise's, and when Chantelle was very insistent that a couple of weeks ago. This is when we were saying it's very odd that Chantelle was being so strong against him because I guess Chantelle thought that she had fixed him.
Yeah, she
after
thought
that.
the therapy worked, didn't she? And she was like, don't need to go anymore.
She thought because that one revelation where he admitted to the therapist that he had hit Chantelle, and she saw him break down because he kind of likened it to how his father treated his mum. She thought, yeah, that's it. He's fixed. He's done. There's no need to do any more. And I think she's beginning to realise that perhaps she did pull him out a bit too soon.
But we also had that moment when they're both in the car and she said that story. And she was like, she blamed herself ever since that happened because she said when they first dated, she thought he was cheating on her and she waited outside all night.
Yeah.
And he said, no, I was just at home, wasn't I? And you're so silly. So like
she was explaining away his violent attack on her, I think.
Yeah, like it was me being silly. So
yeah, it was all my fault. I've been silly in the past before, and obviously you're having a silly moment again. So let's just explain that away because she had to lie, and she explained away also that she had to lie to her mum for the reason why her arm was broken, her wrist was broken, I should say. Yeah, it's really spooky the way that he's got this power over her again, and just when we thought. And I mean, looking back in retrospect, you and I both criticised that. Why is her character changed? Why is she suddenly this very confident woman in front of this very, very powerful, manipulative man? And I suppose that works because where Gray showed his weak spot, she found a way of getting into it. But now he's almost seen, especially when she said, I can't live without you. That a few weeks ago, didn't she? She said, what are you scared of? And she said, I can't be without you. I think he's just kind of taken his time.
He keeps saying that. He keeps saying, I love you. I wouldn't better manage if you weren't here. And she's just like...
Yeah, he's almost playing her the same
game. I'm going
game.
to be stuck here then.
Yeah.
And like the other option for Chantelle is Jags.
Well, quite. And that's not really an option. So we might as well just stick with Gray.
And like he's getting more screen time. He's still doing the eating jokes. and bog roll jokes now, toilet jokes.
Oh yeah, he's got too many toilet rolls.
developed
Oh yeah, I need loads of toilet rolls for my bowels.
But they all turned up at her house and she was getting freaked out because people were in her house and Gray doesn't know.
But she's panicking because, again, Gray doesn't want her to associate with other people. It's only about him and her. And I mean, I worry that if she gets... what's going to happen if she gets pregnant again? I worry about this.
Yeah, but Gray, becomes nice, doesn't he, when he thinks she's pregnant because he won't hit her or hurt her.
Well, this is
Not
it,
nice,
wasn't it?
But, he won't abuse her.
But that's another way she had power over him, wasn't it? When he thought she was pregnant, he wouldn't abuse her. He stopped himself. And, yeah, it's like his vessel, isn't it? She's like his project.
Property.
Yeah, and his property. So he can kind of do... he does forcefully have sex with her. He before they went away on holiday. It wasn't that she wanted to try for a child. In fact, she outrightly said no. He pushed that idealism onto her and forced her up the stairs. He pretty much pulled her up the stairs. So
it's gonna be a dark.
Yeah, I just feel it's getting darker. Do you think that this? I know this is looking well into the future, but do you think this is possibly the Christmas 2020 storyline coming up?
I don't think they're going to be doing it for another year. Do you?
I do. I think
they've already done it for 9 months, 8 months now.
But how long does if someone gets pregnant again? 9 months.
They're going. Yeah.
9 months down the line, and they do love a Christmas pregnancy, and EastEnders does love it even more when it's a Christmas pregnancy.
Well, he did say New Year's we're just us two, so maybe
which is also the foreshadowing, isn't it?
Maybe the New Year story.
Yeah. So we shall have to wait and see.
That's long running, isn't it? Gosh.
I can see it going that long though, and I think it's being done in such a powerful and respectful way. And it's really bringing out, we've had some really positive responses again on our social media from people who have, outspoken about, we've been in similar situations, and I think that's exactly what a story like this should do.
That's the point of it. Exactly,
it should open a conversation, and people should talk about it, and people should look at all the nuances of what an abusive relationship is. And yeah, I think I think for me it's been done really nicely.
It is. Something that's not been done nicely is Mitch.
Yeah. So Mitch has already had a story when he dated Honey this week, and now he's making his own vodka.
Gin.
Oh, sorry.
Just like Adam would, yeah.
Yes. But all Mitch did was, I think he just went home, got all the different half bottles of gin he had under the cupboard, mixed them, almost like, the book George's Marvellous Medicine, when he gets all the things from the bathroom cabinet and from under the sink, and he gives it to his grandmother, and she grows really big and then takes the roof off the hat.
No.
Okay, a bit like that, but obviously there was no...
Just a load of stuff.
Just a load of...
Like a flaming Homer or flaming Moe from The Simpsons.
Flaming Homo?
Flaming Homer from The Simpsons.
From The Simpsons. I thought you were being horrible to me.
Flaming Moes, where they just put loads of things in and it creates a drink.
Oh, that's right. Put it in a blender. That's a drink. Light it up. Knock it down the bar.
But yeah, that's his next big idea, is apparently making gin for cash.
I mean, it is cheap. There's so many gin distilleries now. Like anyone and everyone seems to make a gin of some sort.
Adam Woodjack does.
Yeah. We should make a Walford Weekly gin. Ready for 100th
have to
episode.
Get a license, though.
Well, no, not if we consume it just you and me. And we're not selling it. We could drink it. We could drink the litre bottle throughout the episode.
Send it to all the listeners and they drink it while they're listening to us.
Oh, that'd be nice. In fact, I'm suggesting that when you're listening to our 100th episode next week, I suggest you get yourselves all a nice shot of gin.
Mitch's gin.
Yeah, you should call it hashtag Mitch's Gin and send us a picture of you with a shot of gin enjoying an episode of Walford Weekly. We would much appreciate it.
What about the people who listen to it on the way to work? A shot of water.
Sparkling water. Just make it sparkling water. No, gin's not bubbly. Gin's a very still drink.
We also had a little thing with Denise, who's trained to be a hairdresser apparently, and Mitch isn't the boss. Lola's the boss.
No. So yeah, so
that's what upset him originally, wasn't it?
Well, no, he was making the gin before he found out he wasn't the boss. Yeah, no, that was because he was explaining the different types of gin he could make to Denise, and then he wondered why Denise was then handing over the reign of looking after the salon to someone other than him, because all he did. Who is qualified in that salon?
Cherie.
Who's not there anymore?
No, I mean, Lola must be qualified because she did it years ago.
No, she can't. No, she's training, remember?
She can't be training.
She was doing one of those Girls' World heads.
But she must have her at least NVQ3 at least.
I don't know what
That's
that means.
2 years training you do when you start.
But then at least, because it's been 8 years since she was started.
I don't know how quick Denise is going to do it.
Oh, she'll do it in a day. She'll probably do an online course, and she'll be like, "Hey, everyone, I'm ready to cut."
Shame Stacey's not there. You see, Stacey used to pop in and do some
Oh yeah,
hair,
she used to
didn't
hire a
she?
chair, didn't
Yeah.
she?
That's what they need.
Well, they just need some kind of stable staff output because that place.
Dino, he was always there, reliable, and the hair.
Well, he's cutting
salon.
hair in prison, isn't he? Well, he was, I should say.
We also had like a short Mick storyline where like
He's getting ready for Linda's return.
He's missing Linda and
Yeah.
cleaning, and Shirley's like, if she's drinking, I'm getting her out.
Yeah, if she's anything like she was over Christmas.
So it is Linda's house, Shirley, not yours. Like, you do know that, don't you?
Yeah, but Mick's her number one priority, isn't it? But Mick's found on the credit card bill a hotel bill from Christmas Eve.
Which is odd. I thought that weird guy, it was his hotel. Is that what the hotel is?
Well, see, that's what I couldn't work out either.
I thought that was his hotel that they went to. Because she kicked him and ran out.
Yeah, and then walked back. But then maybe did she offer to pay for his hotel room?
Maybe.
Or maybe she paid for a hotel room because she did say she did go straight to the minibar, didn't she? Yeah, see, I found that a bit odd too. I just presumed it was the guy who paid for it. But anyway, Shirley suggested that Mick has a word with Linda about it. Mick says, yeah, I will. We all know he won't, and it will be...
No more secrets.
No more secrets. And it will be another big problem for the whole week that Mick will want to ask Linda about it. And when he eventually does, Linda will lie. Mick will know he's lied, and then that will be next week's storyline. So basically, I've summed it up already on this week's episode.
Rubbish. Where's Lee, eh?
Bring back Lee.
Lovely Lee.
Oh, and his peachy bum.
Anyway, on that note, that ends up our roundup.
Yeah, it was a good roundup, wasn't it?
It was. The last ever EastEnders Weekly. So
yeah. Oh, I tell you what we should do just before we head off to Who Won the Week and also people's comments where we read out what you've sent to us this week. We have a quick shout out to our friend EastEnders_cast card on Instagram.
Oh, yes.
Now, this is basically a giveaway that he's holding on his Instagram page, which closes tonight, if you're listening to it on Sunday, which is the 12th of January at 9 p.m. And all you have to do to enter is put your details onto his Instagram page. The prize is to win one of 13 signed official cast cards, and the winner will be picked randomly and revealed on his account on the 3rd anniversary of his account. So he's having an anniversary too, on the 15th. Ooh. Oh, we're all having anniversaries on EastEnders cast cards. So if you go to Instagram, type in EastEnders_cast cards, and then just click on his page to find out how you enter, and you could win yourself one of 13 officially signed cast cards.
Oh, lovely.
Lovely prize.
Now we'll get my Ray Kelly one finally, if I win.
When we interviewed Ray Kelly, we asked for one. We never did get one.
No.
He just sent us a photo. Do you remember? He just sent us a large, high-quality photo of himself. Not even like ones of him relaxing on the beach or anything. They were proper headshots, but we were a bit like, well, these aren't even EastEnders.
No, we got an Annette Badland one, but then never did the interview.
And then we're still, if you're listening, Annette, we're still waiting.
I know,
Wink.
it's our fault.
Yeah.
But that's behind the scenes gossip, so I won't bore you with that.
No.
But we're going to go on to I'm Not One to Gossip now, and
Yep.
we'll continue.
And you know me, I ain't one to gossip.
So for the final time on EastEnders Weekly, we're doing Who Won the Week and I Ain't One to Gossip. This is where we look back at previous years of EastEnders and find a story, pluck it out of a hat, pluck it out of existence and talk about it. We also look at birthdays and deaths that happened around this week in previous years, and then we read out your comments about what you've said on our social media, and of course who had won the week, as voted by you on our Twitter, Facebook and Instagram page. And Ben has got his size 9s strapped to his feet. Is that your size?
No, don't know, I can't remember. I can't remember what size.
Ben has got some boots strapped to his feet, and he's ready to trek through the marshland that is the past of EastEnders. So Ben, what did you find in the treasure trove?
I've got birthdays and deaths first, and this is actually the last time this is happening because we've done it. Full cycle of births and deaths.
Have you?
Yeah, every single one.
Have you decided what you're going to do instead?
No, I was going to do this time last year without the births and deaths.
Wow. If you want to keep the birth and deaths because you missed it the first time round, well, any new listeners might have missed it, get in touch.
I'll do one a week then. Just one birth and one death. Instead of every one.
All right.
I overdid it. Anyway, 8th of January, 1936. Someone was born on the show who's still on the show now. 1936.
Someone born on the show in 1936?
No, he's still on the show now.
Oh, so they weren't born on the show?
No, the character was born in 1936.
And they're still on the show?
Mm-hmm.
Patrick Truman?
No.
36?
Yes, 1936.
Dot Cotton?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
Dot Branning.
Dot Branning.
Or Cotton, I don't know what her name is. But yeah, so missed her birthday. Sonia, taking £5,000 probably.
I mean, what was going on in that house? Every time there's like any shouting or anything, I wonder what Dot's doing. Is she not in the house?
Having a nap.
She's asleep. Yeah, just knocked out after having her one brandy.
Yeah. 12th of January 1963, which is on Monday, but it's fine. So the show might not have missed it, but Jean Slater.
Oh, they're bound to do something.
It's
with
on
her.
Sunday.
Yeah, but they're bound to do something.
Yeah, they should do.
So as you're listening to this, it's Jean's birthday. So she's probably having a picnic with Daniel.
And Kush, I would.
Yeah, why not?
8th of January 1981, Matthew Rose was born.
Yeah.
Who got framed for Saskia's murder.
With the ashtray by Steve, one of the Owens.
And one death, which was the 6th of January 2016. Charlie Slater passed away on the couch in the flat.
I want to have one last word with Cat.
So yeah, poor Charlie passed away forever.
He knew all about cats when they decided to rewrite the story, didn't they?
Oh yeah, he knew apparently in the pub. They were laughing about it in a pub together. Right, the episode that I looked back on was 9th of January 2001.
And they can see a clip of this on Twitter, can't they?
They can. A nice little clip to show Tish Dean's acting skills. Because Dennis Rickman has been murdered on New Year's Day.
Who hired the hit?
Well, Phil's very guilty. He's walking around very guilty the whole episode. She sits down, she says, Phil, tell me, was it you? He's like, no, hand on my heart, Sharon. I had nothing to do with it. She was like, are you sure? She asked him about 4 times, like, please confirm, because otherwise I won't be able to ever trust you. He's like, no, nothing to do with me. So come on, Phil, mister. Throw her to the ground all the time.
Yeah.
Don't forget this.
He's not whiter than white as Phil.
And maybe Dennis should know about what Phil did to his dad. See if he stays in his house then.
Yeah, remember eating biscuits on their kitchen table that day, will he?
But I never watched this because I quit EastEnders in protest when Dennis Rickman died.
Did you?
When I was young. That was the last straw for me.
Whenever anyone ever says to us, like, oh, give a character a chance, like recently Jags and Lola when she came back, I always think when Dennis Rickman, the actor who played Dennis Rickman, was first introduced to the soap, he was critically panned by everyone. And this is before social media, so it was in all the newspapers and everything, because they all said he was a really bad and really awful actor.
No, he wasn't.
Yes, he was. When he first started, they all said he was like a plank of wood.
Yeah, but he wasn't.
But he got better. And so sometimes, I call it the Dennis Rickman effect. So if anyone ever says, like, wants to criticise us for having a go at someone who's new, just say to us, just put Dennis Rickman. And I'll say, you know what? Much respect. And I'll fist pump you.
Well, it's his funeral. And Johnny Allen and Ruby have decided to turn up to pay their respects.
Decided. They thought they'd come say hello.
So obviously they see them and Phil says to Sharon, I'll sort it. Don't worry, Sharon. I'll sort him out. And he's just being guilty the whole time. And Dot comes up to Phil and says, whoever did this to Dennis, the devil will tear at their soul until they admit it. And Phil's like, it's me. And then Sharon breaks down with Dot again by the grave. And she puts like dirt on her face. It's really weird.
What?
Sharon.
Sorry? Sharon puts dirt on her face?
Yeah.
Like she's trying to bury herself. If I bury myself, I'll be closer to my love.
She starts like crying and breaking down and she like picks up dirt and like scratches it into her face. It's really weird. And Dot's like, your makeup. That's all she's worried about. And then
Dot is the bringer of death, isn't she?
And Sharon has like a huge fight because Johnny Allen's in the Vic and he says, oh, I'm here to say sorry. And she goes, I know you killed him. And she like goes to attack him. Yeah. It's all good. And then it comes out because Phil stops Sharon from beating him up. And he says, you got to think about the baby. And everyone's like, so yeah, little Dennis.
That's where Dennis was the seed inside of her.
So everyone found out that she was pregnant. But yeah, Ruby's there like all cocky with her dad.
Ruby, yeah, she was when she was younger. She was a bit of a, brat, yeah. She's a bit like what Louise is now, or was, before her breakdown.
But this was like the build-up on to Sharon's exit, wasn't it?
Yeah. Oh yeah, when she went away for a long
So no wonder
time.
I stopped watching. Sharon leaves, that's it for me.
I feel sad that Sharon, because she's been the brunt of attacks in the Vic recently from Lisa and Mel and Phil and basically anyone who'd have a go at her. It doesn't feel right that I think Sharon needs to have a story where she's like looking over everyone else. Like she's got the power. She's not had that in a long time.
Apparently that's coming up. Like she's going to be Sharon Watts again and she's going to take revenge on all the Mitchells and end up
behind the
on
Vic.
Top. Not on
the Vic. On the roof.
No.
I can fly. No,
it was very good.
That's a good story. Any story with Sharon, we're going to love it.
Oh yeah.
And as you say, you can see clips of that on our Twitter
and our Facebook group.
Yes, which you can get details on, which I'll explain at the end of the show.
I condense a whole episode storylines under 2 minutes because that's all that Twitter allows.
Yeah, I know. It's such a stupid restriction with Twitter. I've made the stupid mistake of having like longer videos, and then it just won't upload. Anyway, so who won the week? As always, we give you 4 stories for you to decide who is the best of the week, and you can vote for it on our Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram page, or all 3, or just 2 of them, or none at all. Depends how you feel on the day. So the 4 stories were Whitney's down.
Yeah, that was okay.
DJ Janet wins.
Oh yeah, that's the best.
Or can it, as I like to call it
1.
now. Chantelle honeymoon over.
Yeah.
And honey trapped.
What's that? Oh, Honey.
Honey story.
Oh, how odd. Well, I'm going to vote for Janet over Honey.
Okay.
Even though that's
But
the same story.
But you pushed for DJ Janet to be one of the
instead
stories.
of Honey,
But
I thought.
No, because there was the other story I was going to do, I realised couldn't be done this week. Anyway, that's
what
got
about the
nothing
Mitchells?
But there
What
wasn't.
about Kathy?
There wasn't a I always choose a
Kathy
story.
would have lost, actually.
I always try to choose a story where there's some kind of complete resolution. So there's a beginning, a middle, and an end of the week.
Keegan.
Yes, okay, fine, but that wasn't. Anyway, so
my vote goes to Janet.
And Janet was the one who won.
Oh, did she?
Yeah, she came first. She had loads of votes on Instagram.
Ooh.
Yeah, everyone loves her on Instagram. She won with 33% of the votes.
Oh, very
Second
split.
was Chantelle honeymoon over with 27%.
Mm-hmm.
Third was Honey trapped with 23%. And final and last was Whitney down with 17%.
Oh, not last again.
I know, she had it first a few weeks ago.
Yeah, once they came first in that hotel week. But every other time they've ever been on vote, they've always come last.
I think it's a shame, really, because it is an interesting story. It's just it seems to be done very.
There's hints of it going round in circles a bit like Hayley.
You're right
last
there.
year.
You're right there. Oh, we should say congratulations to the actress who plays Hayley. She's
Got a
just
film role.
got a
Why
film
not?
role. Congrats! I'll pop open a bottle of champagne.
We'll have to
for you.
watch that.
Yeah, we should
She
do that.
plays a rundown mum on doing dark, dodgy things. So
I can relate. So, a few comments starting off with Kathy. At Izzy Field says, I still don't get why Kathy's so mad at Sharon. Her and Phil was never very close. Their entire marriage was just full of abuse and cheating. Technically, Phil never cheated on Kathy with her, so surely she'd at least understand.
mm-hmm. They're just doing some stupid thing where Kathy and Phil are going to get together. So I'm angry.
Fair enough. And at Power Wayne also would agree with you, and he says, wind your neck in, Kathy, and go fake your death again. I love that.
Kathy said she doesn't want that brought up anymore.
Kathy or the actress?
Kathy.
Okay, or both. We talk about Gray and Chantelle as well. At Mr. Joe Smoke has said, brilliantly written and acted. Every time Gray starts getting wound up, my skin actually crawls. Very powerful stuff.
I noticed that his suit was like really tight this week
So did I.
after his honeymoon. He's eaten too much.
He's had too much of the
Too many
buffet.
buffets.
Yeah, that's it. He's been indulging. I'd indulge. At Peter Albanese _ has said, I think Mitch will soon find out, and then Gray will get a grisly end. WTF is Leo doing? Stalker much? Good old Mr. Lister. Funny but thick.
That's true.
Yeah.
All the market inspectors are.
Well, funny but thick.
Yeah. Carmel.
At Quality Dan said, that line from Gray to Chantelle about the cutlery in the dishwasher needing to be upward to be cleaned properly has me really concerned that they are foreshadowing a gruesome death.
Oh yeah, I replied to that. I thought that was Could you imagine if that was a death?
I'd love that.
Someone fell into the cutlery.
You know, I enjoyed the Lucas rake death.
Yeah, but that's really like dark. They wouldn't be able to show it. They could show like her fall and then
you could
cut
see
away.
you could see her falling, then cut away before you see
Or
her
him.
falling or him onto it, and then you could then cut back to her or him getting up with, and then you just see them kind of like looking shocked.
Getting up. Why wouldn't they die instantly?
Not necessarily. It depends on how it's hit. And also, it's got to be a bit gruesome and over the top. So they kind of get up or they sit up, and their hand behind their head, and then you see their hand
They
like
fall
bright
forward,
red.
and then there's like a fork sticking out of them or something.
But okay, then that's verging on slapstick. Then if they stand up and there's a fork sticking out the front of their head, they look like a Dalek. That
To
just
the
be
back
ridiculous.
of their head, and then when they fall forward, then you realise there's something in the
No,
back
the
of their
knife
head.
should stay, or the sharp object should stay in the dishwasher, and they just like out.
That's disgusting.
I'd love it. Or I do love a stabby death.
Ugh.
This is about Keegan. At Northbound 24 said the story really showed how Keegan has changed since Shaquille died. I suspect there will be more to come from the police side of things as well, especially with Jack now being in CID.
Stupid Jack. He's not got much going on at the moment, has he?
He's advising Whitney
Going on holiday.
and
with
going
Denise.
on holiday with Denise off to Pantoland. Another couple off to Pantoland. Thank you for getting everyone who got in touch. We really do appreciate getting your emails and your tweets and your messages on Facebook and Instagram. You can find out all the details of getting in touch with us on our website, which is walfordweekly.com, and that gives you our details to our links to Twitter, Facebook group, Instagram and email. Don't forget that our name is changing. Can't emphasize that enough. So when you get the next episode, which is our review of the year episode, so it's even out early, it's on Wednesday. Indeed. So you can hear what we thought of 2019 and also our predictions and whether we were correct with our predictions for 2019. It's out on Wednesday the 15th of January, and then our first full episode as Walford Weekly is our 100th episode, which is on the 19th of January. Keep sending us your audio recordings saying hello to us for our 100th episode. We've received a few and it's been great, and it's nice to hear from you guys too. So thank you for sending them as well, and thank you as always for listening, and we're really looking forward to next week.
New name, new logo, new theme tune. So for the last time, go out with classic EastEnders Weekly theme.